black people though. I am a black people though. I am a black people. So you can know all the black people you like, but I am a black people.
That's like saying that
I'm another black people.
TV. I mean, that makes no sense.
I'm not done. Let me speak. So I'm gonna tell you this. Obviously, I'm Mexican American, right? I'm Mexican to the fullest. I don't even say American, but I am American, right? I'm Mexican American. I'm gonna tell you this. Obviously, I've encountered a lot of shit. That narrative, that shit that you are pushing, I would never push that shit onto my kids. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Cool story. I don't give a fuck about what you would do. This isn't a narrative. I don't give a fuck what you did. I'm the host. I get to talk anytime I please.
But you gonna let people talk?
I get to say anything I want at any moment. I am the host of this live. That is how this goes.
But you're coming up here and
or not. You do not get to spit false narratives on my live. That is not how this goes. It is a false narrative to sit here and act like this is a narrative or a story or some kind of propaganda that we're pushing. This is the lived experiences.
Okay, but it's just
watch how this goes. See how that works? See how I get to talk and you don't?
I will say
this is my live, and this is how this shit goes. You do not get up. You do not get to come up here and tell me that the shit that I actually go through in my life and the statistical documented experiences of black Americans in America is some kind of fucking narrative or some kind of propaganda. That is inherently fucking false.
Sounds more.
And that's what's not about to happen on this fucking live. That's what's not about to happen.
All right, it's a bit. Can I speak tonight, bro? Can I speak?
Bigger spreading bullshit.
Wait,
Mexican to Mexican. Hey, hold on. But Mexican to Mexican, you're coming up here sounding bad, bro. Because look at what Texas just did. Texas just literally made it legal to fucking racially profile Latinos, bro. Like, don't tell me I'm not from Texas. I'm from California. But hold on, homie. I'm gonna talk to my kids. When my kid comes from Costa Rica, even though he is a light-skinned Latino, I tell him about the situations in America. It is not a narrative. It's reality. And you know that, homie. You coming up and saying that, it's an embarrassment, homie.
No, it's not.
It is, homie. It is Mexicano, bro. It's Mexicano, and you're saying this shit, bro. It's vergüenza, homie.
No. If you do, wait. Let me speak. Of course, there's laws. Of course, there's ways of being. Of course. Look, I went to Auburn, right? Not too long ago, a couple days ago. I went to Auburn. This is a place that is fully white, right? Fully white. I'm from the Bay Area. It's fully white. This place doesn't even compare cost-wise to where I'm at, right? But it's fully white, and it felt like it was a racist town, right? But at the end of the day, it wasn't a racist town, right? But I did have that sense of a Mexican going into a fully white town, right? There are laws that need to be changed. Yeah, we could push that. We could push that issue to the full extent. But if anyone here in the U.S. is oppressed because of their race, you are fucking wrong to the fucking fullest. And even though they are,
and you are absolutely fucking wrong to your fucking fullest. I literally just said, I literally just sat here and fucking told you. I literally just sat here and told you about actual fucking experiences. I literally fucking told you about actual lived experiences that black people go through in this country. So you can miss me with all of that bullshit. Here's how this is gonna go. This is how this is gonna go.
Oh, we're from the same neighborhood too.
That goes. You see how this goes? You see how that shit goes? You do not spit.
Just because some white tea people accepted his ass, all of a sudden, ooh, kumbaya. Get the fuck out of here.
For real. That means that shit don't happen. Like, come on.
That's what
I really wanted to ask him though. I wanted to be, because he was talking about like, don't tell your kids this. I was gonna ask him like, are you not gonna tell your kid like, hey, maybe you shouldn't wear a hood on at night if he's gonna have I'm assuming Latino kids. I know I'm gonna tell my kids that.
Hey, Mexican, we're from the same hood, bro. I know you. I just went to your profile. Why you acting, coming up here and trying to act like a white teen man, bro?
And I was from LA too.
Like, oh no, we're from the Bay Area, where it is very diverse here. But he knows that when we go to Danville, when we go to Wanna Creek, even the way we look, when we get profiled, he knows that. He's just playing. You're not a real MFer, bro. You're a little boy. I know you, bro. I know who you are. You're not a real MFer. Shut up, bro.
He's gonna tell his
Either
kids
way,
racism
you're not
doesn't
about to
exist
sit here
'cause
and
he
tell
went
me
to
my
one
lived
white town.
experiences are narrative or some propaganda.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what you're saying.
Funny is that
I'm so sorry to interject. I did do some math though. So if you guys have a second and I can tell you the percentages that I found, just because if you want percentages, which don't make any freaking sense, because there is no percentage for a life experience, but 12%, it would be 12% plus. I'm sorry, and I'll wait till you tell me if it's okay for me to tell you.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so by that logic, by that, just the baseline kind of strange, kind of weird statistics that the Messiah was trying to spout, it would be honestly not even on an actual level of people of color or people that are brown. 12% are more affected just by being in the presence of a police officer. And I just ran that off of how many people are arrested, how many people are arrested, not even just off encountering a police officer. So just off the people that are encountering police officers, 12% that are actually arrested and booked, it is more likely that a person of color is more likely to be arrested, more likely to be unalived is exponentially larger if you do go about it by the ratio of how many black people are in America in opposed to how many white or call themselves white people in America. So that doesn't even count for the amount of people that are let go and not even put on given a ticket that are white. So this is just accounting for what is actually on the books, what is actually on the internet, and what we can deduce from any kind of percentages.
And we said 14% is the population.
13.8
is the population of the.
That is the census, but also as far as the census goes, people that take the census also try to downplay how many people of color, how many brown people are in the community. That goes for property value. That goes for, and this has been going since white flight. This has been going since forever and ever. So if you are not at your home and you are a brown person, that goes well for the census. So all of these numbers are actually completely skewed, and that is exactly what, honestly, and we all know it, our government wants us to believe. Voices are being stifled. They always have been, and that is what people want. So you can go for statistics, the Messiah, all damn day, like you can, but they will always be wrong because the numbers will not be right, because the voices will always be stifled. And the government doesn't want people to know that black people exist, especially around them.
Which makes
also,
your argument
exactly. Which also, there is a common narrative that you've been spewing as well that is also false, that you are somehow paying for all of these people that are sitting around not doing anything, so on and so forth. Everyone pays into taxes, even the people that the taxes help. So I don't understand where you think you're footing the bill for everybody, because you're absolutely the fuck not. You don't have enough money.
And instead of being mad at the people on government assistance, how about we figure out and get mad about the reasons they're on those government assistance and why they need them? Like the much larger problems.
The wealth gap in the country.
Because they're victims.
You can direct this anger and actually try to solve some issues, because there's a lot of issues out here in this country.
So I would actually like to talk to you about the amount of people that are on the census, that are actually being counted, that are directly utilizing government assistance, welfare, CHIP, depending on your state, medical
CHIP,
assistance,
TANF, food stamps.
Yeah, of course, all of those things. That is a predominantly white person thing that is utilized, and that is across the board in every state. That is always a percentage that if you like percentages, I can give them to you, because that is across the board, every single state, and especially in the red state. And I don't know if you are in a red state, but I promise you, every red state that you want to bring up to me, I can give you a percentage. It will not take me very long. I can give it to you. How much that gap is white. So if that's something that you think that you want to talk about, we can do it. And
he's from California.
California, perfect. I can do that real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're from California.
Let me tell you something. You all need.
You can say
tonight. Watch California local news tonight, and you're going to understand why the problem with the police. Watch the news for 10 minutes from California, and you're going to agree with everything I've said.
Dude, there's
no,
that is also a race farming, and most likely
we're not at all.
I spent my whole life in Los Angeles, California. I know it very well.
Governor Newsom has destroyed California.
There's higher crime rate in Alaska. There's higher crime rate in Alaska, Texas, Florida, Missouri. There's higher crime rate, more violent crimes committed in red states than blue states. What are you talking about?
The fact is, Messiah.
Not true. I told you.
Messiah. The fact
for
is,
5 minutes tonight. Watch the California news.
Messiah. The fact is that no matter what you bring up, and no matter what you're going to say at this particular moment, unless you come with a source or proper facts, they're going to give you a hard time about it. It's just that simple.
I am telling you, all of you, to watch the California local news tonight for 10 minutes, and you're going to see all the violence.
What will we see on the news? What will we see on the news?
What are we going to see? What are we going to see on the news?
Please tell us what we're going to see on the news that I didn't see in
carjacking, destroying restaurants, shootings, murders, homeless hitting people with bats on the back of their head.
And
I could go on and
what just happened?
You guys don't know what's going on.
My guy,
what just happened in Maine?
I grew up in Detroit, my guy. There's nothing.
That was the FBI's fault.
Hey, Messiah, do you realize that
it was the FBI's
fault that somebody went and unalived 22 people?
They had 3 warnings about the guy.
Hey, Messiah.
They had 3 warnings about this. Okay?
You realize that the most...
And that's a fact.
But he still did it. He still did it, though.
Hey, Messiah.
So what are you talking about?
The FBI didn't act.
Messiah.
The FBI let it happen.
And
Messiah.
he acted.
Messiah.
So what is your point?
And the FBI Messiah's trying to get in general by saying there's these crimes. Like, we know there are crimes out there. Like,
so it's the FBI's fault that somebody decided to unalive 22 people.
They could have prevented it. They could have prevented it. They had 3 warnings. He made threats to the National Guard.
That you were talking about.
Bush could prevent it.
I guess they could have prevented everything that you're talking about too, right?
Bush could have prevented the towers. Doesn't mean.
Well, this one in particular.
You're saying
this one.
You're speculating at this point. Yes, they could have, but did they? No. That doesn't change the facts at the present moment.
They're compromised. I told you from the beginning.
Hey, host.
Are you conspiracists? Or conspiracy theorists? Messiah,
hey,
are
you put me up? Oh, sorry, but.
Oh, Jesus, I'm on the same website right now.
Are you conspiracy theorists, Messiah?
No, I believe in facts. That's why people don't like me, because I speak the truth.
All right, Messiah.
You're not really.
You don't live in California.
Messiah,
you
knowing
we don't have to live in California. This is a national issue. This is not just California. This is the entire country.
This is the country right here, Messiah.
Destroyed California. Once beautiful California.
Messiah, look, gun deaths per capita. It's Mississippi. It's a red state. And don't say blue cities, because it's the state legislation that passes laws, not cities.
Messiah, literally look at the screen.
I could show you different stats.
Messiah,
I could show you different stats.
Messiah, listen. If you didn't look at the screen, it's literally showing you that red states are among the biggest culprits of pew pew violence against anyone. It's not blue states, it's literally red states. You might, your first is going to be Chicago, but that is a fucking city within a state. And yet again, red states are the ones that are committing the most pew pew violent crimes. Learn to read statistics.
So if someone is unalive, it doesn't matter what state they live in. They're unalive. It doesn't matter what state. Stop dividing the nation. You're dividing the nation.
Well,
You're dividing the nation.
Okay, so
It doesn't
now it doesn't matter what state.
Hold
Just a few minutes ago, you were talking specifically about California, but now it doesn't matter what state. So now you're moving the goalposts.
Okay, hold on.
California is a different story. California is a different
dividing
story.
the states. How are we dividing the states?
Because you're talking about someone being unalive and you're saying, oh, there's more blue, there's more red. It doesn't matter. They're unalived. It doesn't matter blue or red. This is human nature.
How is that us dividing the states? I don't understand. Help me understand.
Okay, because you said there's more people unalived in a red state. Blue, red, they're unalived. It doesn't matter what state they're from.
Messiah,
they're
we're
unalived.
going down your rabbit hole. We're going down your rabbit hole when you were talking about violence. Why were you bringing up violence in general? Like, why? Were you going to pin it on a specific...
arguing with a toddler.
Were you going to pin it on a specific color, a specific
There
state?
you go.
Messiah,
There you go. When someone there goes a name calling. Come on, bring it on. I'm a big guy. Go with the name calling.
I'll hit you with facts because you like facts. If you didn't know, there's a plethora of police departments that have been caught red-handed literally targeting minorities. There's towns in West Virginia that literally, West Virginia is the whitest state in this country, yet they're still stopping more minorities than any other race. How are you going to tell me that there's no racism, there's no none of this, everyone's playing victims when minorities are getting stopped for petty things, and not even things that they're even committing crimes. They're literally getting pulled over because their police department is corrupt, and they're literally pulling them over for no reason.
Well, you showed me a department.
I don't know about that. But like you said West Virginia. That's threaded in their culture. That's always going to be there. That's from day one.
And that's a
you can't change that.
This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm so sorry.
It doesn't make it okay.
The reason I hopped on, and I understand. I will wait for my turn to speak. If you tell me to pipe down, I absolutely will.
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Because you've been cooking all night.
No, pipe down.
So, Messiah, when I hopped on, it was because I've been sitting back for just a hot minute and I've been listening to you. You wanted to speak about stats. You wanted to speak about percentages. You wanted to speak about, you said that you were speaking facts. So when people confront you with facts, with actual percentages of, and you can say, okay, when they confront you with that, you cower and you say, no, everybody's lives matter in the grand scheme of things. So that is strange to me. So do you care about the stats, the facts, the percentages, or do you just care about every single life, every single where, all the time? Because I feel like you're cherry picking here. I feel like you are trying to deflect. So my question to you is, I think that we might go ahead and get somewhere here. One, I'm going to ask you, what purpose is, I don't know. How do you feel? I'm going to try to, sorry. I talk too fast sometimes. ADHD like crazy, a little bit of autism. Sir.
I feel you.
It goes nuts. You get it.
Same here, don't worry.
So Messiah, please let us know what percentages and facts you feel you're the most passionate about. Let's go ahead and put a pin in that. And then number two, let's talk about the lives that matter everywhere. So I'll reiterate. Number one, what are the percentages that you feel that you need to have to better understand the conversation that we're having right now? If you feel like we are speaking in some way, I think that we all, as a whole, would like to understand the percentages that we need to have statewide or countrywide or worldwide.
It'd be nice to stop talking in circles. So yes, please.
Oh, all right, yeah.
First of all, I like how you said all lives matter. If that was number two, I'll go back to number one. The statistics are your side. We go back and forth like a volleyball game with statistics. You pull up what's favorable to you. I pull up what's favorable to me. And that's how it works. The United States is divided in half.
So
I told you about, I already read my...
And I am going to interject. I did ask a question. What percentages do matter to you? Because I'm writing them down right now. So I'm going to write down, if you have like 3 key pinpoints that we can just, your questions that you would ask as far as, or, we could answer as far as the percentages that, and we could debate about the percentages that matter to you. 1, 2, 3. And go.
Well, I could pull up the percentages that I get from news. Hello?
Hello?
Anybody there? This is the United States calling. Anybody there?
Hey, Messiah, I think...
Well,
Messiah, can I say something? I think you don't care. I think you troll. I think you have supremacy vibes. Everybody's trying to use kid gloves with you. But to be honest with you, you're running in circles and you're moving the goalposts, and nothing's going to make you happy until we agree with you, which we're not, because we're smarter than you. The women on here are smarter than all of us, but you're just a racist.
Here we go.
You're a racist troll. And you know what? Host, I love you, bro. You're an amazing person. Everybody
there
on
you
here,
go.
Messiah, you guys have a good night. But you, bro, like, vete a la chingada.
Appreciate you coming up, bro. Like,
that's my point.
Hey, Messiah.
He made my point. What he said, he made my point. He exactly made my point.
So
what was
Messiah,
your point?
He made my point exactly.
Messiah, if you want to go back to your statistics.
Oh, the hatred.
Messiah, if you want to go back to your statistics.
When someone has another opinion.
Messiah.
Yeah, I want to address the hate.
Messiah.
Yes.
Let's go back to your...
You don't want to address hate?
No, we're going to go back to your facts and statistics.
The guy that just left, the last thing that the guy said, he put people down, making fun of people. That's not right.
All right.
Want to make fun of everybody.
Let's go back to your statistics, Messiah. So let's go back to your statistics where do you realize that the majority, do you know what the difference between minority and majority is? Messiah.
Do you?
No, I'm asking you a question. Do you know what the difference between minority and majority is?
First of all, the problem we're having is you don't talk down to people.
I'm literally asking you a question. Do you know what the difference between minority and...
The majority is more. Majority is more, minority is less. I mean, I can pull up the actual.
So when you were giving a statistic...
Stop putting people...
Hold on. When you were giving the statistic about unaliving rates for YT people and the minority, do you realize that the minority fits within the percentage of the population of minorities, right? So obviously, if the majority of the population is YT, you would think that the majority of YT people are the ones that are getting killed. But on top of that, do you see the incarceration rate too, where the minority is actually incarcerated a lot more than the majority?
You know what your problem? Separate people by color. That's your problem.
I'm just talking
Messiah,
about
your problem is answering a question. Answer his question directly.
Yes.
Directly answer his question. Don't
directly answering questions.
Don't go off.
Being a bigot.
It's a little bit entertaining, but at the same time, we can get a lot further if you just answer the questions directly.
Well, with everybody yelling, what's the question?
Why is the minority being arrested and, why is the minority being arrested at way like exponential rates than the minority?
Okay.
Why are there more people of color, black people, brown people imprisoned than white people that are the majority? That was the question.
Because the minority, they're the ones breaking all the laws.
Are they though?
Crazy.
That's
crazy.
You just said all the color in prison. Hold on, Joe. You just said all the people with the color. You mentioned color. They're all in prison. Everybody mentions color. I judge people by character, not color.
So,
sir, who cares? The argument.
Quite literally,
we are talking about racism. So who gives a fuck what you judge people by character by?
All right, so
we are specifically talking about racism. So we're wondering why there is a majority of people of color in the prison system. Do you think that everybody that goes to prison is automatically guilty?
Messiah, if you don't want to even,
oh my God,
if you don't want to acknowledge that part, then tell me why the minority for doing the same exact crime as a white T person receives a longer sentence and a harsher punishment.
There you go again. Why do color white T? That's ridiculous.
Sir, answer the question.
If I may,
answer the question, please.
If I may, Almighty.
They're breaking the law. They break the most laws, people of color.
But
that's what you want to hear. This whole
you think that black people inherently commit more crimes? That's what you think.
Messiah.
Everyone on this live is a racist, in my opinion.
Sir, I'm just trying to ask you questions and find out what you think.
Messiah, if I may, let me
ask a question. Let me ask a serious question. Hold on. Let me ask one question. You can do whatever you want. Can black people be racist?
Black people can be prejudiced against someone for their race.
Hold on, why do we have to answer questions and he can't answer a simple...
exactly.
But actually, yes, that's a great point. Why do we have to answer your question?
Okay.
We haven't answered any of ours.
If I may interject for a brief moment, Messiah, quick question. So, instead of thinking of it from your perspective, think of it from the perspective of the government. The government is inherently racist, is what they're getting at. So instead of thinking about your morals and what you would do, think of it from their perspective, is what we're getting at. So instead of thinking from your position, put yourself in their shoes, essentially.
I would like to hear where he's got the statistics or supposed statistic of people of color commit more crimes. I would love to hear that, Messiah. Or do you have one, or is that what I call rectum-derived knowledge, where you just pulled it straight out your ass?
Oh, I'm with you on that, but I'm trying to give him a direction to go.
Well, if you might or you're.
No, I was being silly, but I am asking a genuine question. Where did you get that statistic? Like where did you get that knowledge, Messiah?
Oh, I got it on
commit more crimes. Google is a search engine.
Oh yeah, I'll pull it up. Hold on.
Yeah, would you?
What is the original source?
Please cite your sources. I'm right here.
Wikipedia. Hold on.
88% on my
Wikipedia. I got it right.
Your Wikipedia.
Sure. Wikipedia usually gives their sources.
Show me what you put in your Google. What you put in to get where you got. I would love to know.
It's fascinating.
Okay, here we go.
And also,
has anybody read his bio?
Give me a
spreading love and understanding, looking beyond color, treating all with love.
Okay.
Because I'm at the bjs.org or .gov.
That's you, but you think black people commit crimes inherently.
Well, look, I have to disagree with that, but the lady, her name's Joe, she said all the brown and black people are in prison. So she said it for me.
I said what?
But does that mean that black people commit more crime?
She asked you a
or do you think there's
Yeah.
maybe there's a bias
There
in
are
the
more.
policing
There are
system?
more black people in prison. Are all the people in prison guilty of the crimes that they are in prison for?
I kind of feel like he's picking and
99% are.
choosing some words out of a sentence. And
You said
hearing every other
99% of
word.
people are guilty.
There is a reason.
Where did you get that statistic?
Joe didn't say that, by the way.
By the
you
court
cherry
case.
picked a couple words.
Yeah.
So if we want to go with the Messiah, which is hilarious, I just want to tell you, I love it that you made that year. And I hope that you are a Christian, and I hope you are an absolute Christ believer, and you believe in the Bible, and you actually put on your bio that you are the Messiah. That is hilarious to me. Hilarious. And I dig that so much. Because if we want to afterlife, that is hilarious. Second point, real quick.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, that's one of the commandments.
Yeah, exactly.
Word.
I love that for you. I love that for you. I love that for me. That's great. But I wanted it.
You're racist and you bash.
That was just wow. I wanted to put that out there, and I'm loving that for you, and I'm giving you all the snaps. But I am going to say, if we want to go with what you said, or not what you said, but just what is fact, 13.8% of the population of America in the census is black. They do check off the box that is black. And if we do want to go ahead and look at the percentages of the people that are imprisoned in America, it is about 54%. I believe right now this says in 2018, 2019, so it most likely has changed. But let's just look at that percentages. So at 13.8% as far as the population goes, that leaves a lot of white people left, right? And then we're going to go ahead and look at the percentage of people of color, brown people, black people that are imprisoned right now. That percentage, that's a little wild. That seems a little skewed, right? Then we go way back, or not even way back. It's not even that long. We look at the reasons for prison for profit. We look at the exponential rates of imprisoned black people during the Reaganism and Nancy Reagan's war on drugs for petty crimes. We look at the amount of black youth that were imprisoned for decades upon their whole lifespan for crimes that they were ultimately were proved innocent from, because they were the worst. They were put into interrogation rooms. They were berated. Who knows what happened in those rooms? And just the door was slammed and they were stuck forever. There are so many injustices when it comes to this quote unquote justice system for black people, for people of color, and for you to come on here, and I will just say this as a separate note on my own personal just not stand, just need to say to you personally, for you to just say, well, I guess they don't do crime, or they all do crimes. They do the crimes, so they pay the time. That is such an ignorant statement.
Hey, can I jump on here one time, if it's cool? I just want to. Yeah.
Well, let me ask Joe a
let me just speak.
Question.
I think Mexican's been here for a while, host. I don't think he said it.
Go ahead, Mexican.
Yeah, he's been here for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just realized that.
So I was going to say something. So wait up. Let me just speak real quick. So Latinos in the U.S. we're the fifth highest GDP in the world. So if we were to be considered a country, we surpassed the UK and India as the highest GDP in the world, right? Latinos in the U.S. So you're telling me that there's oppression holding us back, or you're telling us that we automatically thrived on our own, or even oppression has held us back to a certain extent, but we could have probably been fourth highest GDP in the world. But as of right now, we stand as the fifth highest GDP in the world. Why is that?
You're talking about Mexico?
No, I'm talking about Latinos in the U.S. being the fifth highest GDP in the world.
Is that directed at Messiah or just the whole panel?
What?
Was that directed at Messiah or the whole
to the whole panel? To the whole panel.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not the economy whiz. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the correlation between that and
at hand
social issues within the context of America.
No, there's social issues. There's social issues even with white people, and even though you may not believe that, there's social issues with every ethnicity.
Are you saying Hispanic or Latino people contribute the most? Are you saying they contribute the most to the GDP? I was just trying to understand what
GDP as far as gross domestic product.
Yes. So what I'm trying to what I'm trying to tell you is that as of right now, Latinos in the U.S. I'm gonna repeat it one more time. Latinos in the U.S. are the fifth highest GDP in the world, right? So we surpassed the UK, we surpassed India as being the fifth highest GDP in the world. So if we were to be a country, we'd be the fifth highest GDP, Latinos in the U.S., right? So tell me, where is the oppression within our country?
I see where you're going.
Let me point you
it's just fascinating.
All right, so let me point you to Texas, Florida, and then on top of that, since you're Hispanic, you should know that within the Hispanic race, there is hatred among ourselves, especially when it comes to darker skin tones within the Hispanic race. That's why Argentina and Spain are quote unquote considered the top of the echelon when it comes to Hispanic. But when you talk about like indigenous Hispanics, they're looked down upon, like Dominicans.
What does that have to do with what I just told you?
What does what you have to say have to do with the subject that's in the background that the host is talking about?
What I'm trying to tell you is that there's people that are going to
read the first five sentences.
Brother. No, come on, bro.
Read the so can I say something? Mexican, I think basically what it's something just to understand is like the existence of success doesn't mean there's no oppression. So just because people are doing well doesn't mean there's other people who aren't doing well.
I understand that.
And doesn't mean that there aren't people suffering from
oppression. I understand that to a full extent. But what I'm trying to tell you is that there is oppression within every society, bro. Every society has an oppression to a certain extent. If you
we should stop this oppression, right? We should talk about it.
So that means we should ignore it then.
No, wait up. But there's an oppression even within a different, even if a Latino community has a certain ethnic group coming in, there's going to be a certain type of oppression naturally. Not saying that they're going to downplay them, but it's just a way of being. You know what I mean? It's not
oppression exists. Like you agree with
so oppression exists and it's okay.
But
we're trying to talk about it, so
it's going to happen anyway. So let's just let it happen.
No, it's not okay. It's not okay. But what I'm trying to tell you is there's going to be backlash of certain people that are going to put you in a situation that you feel oppressed or you feel like you're being
Hey Mexican, after this live, I want you to go on the TikTok search bar and then put food vendors in California. And you can see how many Hispanic,
I was about to fly back home when I saw that.
How many Hispanic food vendors in California are literally getting their stands demolished by racist white people.
I know a lot of brother. Thank you. That has to do with certain people. It doesn't have to do with a certain ethnicity, though. It has to do with
they're literally.
It did have to do with their ethnicity. It literally did,
sir.
No. There's a lot of.
It literally is.
No, it was literally about their ethnicity.
Sir, no one says that white people don't go through things or that white people don't experience bad times. That is not the message here. Nobody is saying that. However, there is historically and systemically an anti-black rhetoric in American society. and it still plays out today. That is the point of this live.
Okay,
so the success of certain people. We just brought this up earlier when the Messiah brought up Oprah. The success of people, it does not deny the systemic issue that is happening on a societal level to all people of color. Mexicans or Hispanic people having success as far as being the highest grossing GDP does not denote the fact that there is still a vast amount of Americans that think you are automatically an illegal citizen just because you are Hispanic.
Understand
there are people that are, there is still a systemic idea and a systemic perpetuation of a specific stereotype that you fall in this country.
Of certain type of people, right?
And no, not for certain type of people.
It's not a whole. It's not a whole.
But the whole point is to bring the awareness so we can.
You can't say that.
Okay, hold on.
Wait up. You can't say that the whole white population
oh, my Lord.
has that. No. But
I'm not saying that the whole white population is doing anything. My girlfriend is white and she's in this live right now. She's sitting right next to me.
Personally, I don't think
obviously
anybody here
there
says that.
are many. Yeah, I think most white people are not racist. If you understand that.
Yeah, there's many other people of every ethnicity, right? But we can't correlate that to saying that this government is holding us back or is treating us a certain way. Yes,
Mexican.
Why can't we? We've literally had 400 years of that shit on paper, and we just rectified it on paper 60 years ago.
Okay, so now
you don't think those practices are still in place?
Yeah, we can look at the legislation that exists.
Now we're rectifying it with success.
Mexican. Did you see what just passed in Texas?
Yes, I do.
And what do you think about that?
It's something that's going to be abolished quick.
You think it's going to be? All right. So let me with a follow up question. Do you know what Project 2025 is?
I was reading on it. Yeah, I mean, I understand that logic. I understand the logic.
No. So if what happened in Texas is basically part of Project 2025. So what's happening in Texas could theoretically happen throughout the whole United States. So theoretically, for you having the skin tone that you have, police officers can literally stop you and ask you for your papers. You can be innocently walking by and they can ask you for your fucking papers.
It 100% can happen.
That
100% can happen. You're on the way.
No,
what ifs.
And I understand.
No what ifs.
Okay,
wait.
So
we have to push that narrative to go against it. I understand.
Okay, my guy. Let me go ahead and talk really quick. You've been talking over me. Give me a second.
Go ahead.
Really quick.
Go ahead. I got.
See, here's the thing, my guy, is that the whole point of this live is to bring awareness so that way we can do something about it instead of just letting it go on. On top of that, they absolutely can, because one of my best friends who actually lives in Texas right now was stopped and was asked for his papers, and he didn't have his on him, and he absolutely went to jail until he was able to provide them. So telling me they can't do that and they're not going to do that, it's already happened.
I am in Texas right now. I work.
I'm sorry.
Relatively close to same. So relatively close to Austin, but I also sometimes I go down to the Gulf a bit. Sometimes this is happening. Like these things are happening. And there are ICE agents in Austin. Austin is Central Texas. That is not by the border. That is Central Texas. There are ICE agents everywhere. This is happening, and it's not even about ICE. It's that you can be detained for literally any reason, and there are rogue police forces all over the state. All over. There was actually just a whole town that had the ratio for police officers to citizens was every single citizen had basically 2 police officers, and the chief of police for this town was hiring police officers that had been fired, that had been put on leave, to give them money, to give them a place to work, and just, that's a whole nother story altogether. But there are some crazy things going down here. No one is safe. No one of color is safe in this state. There is nobody that is black that is safe in this state. And to be very fair, in any state in the United States, and they have never been. They have never been, and they will never be. And I will be very, very honest with you, and I will always be honest, as a white woman in America, I know that me being in black spaces and me being around people of color, they are not safe around me either. And that's just a real fact. Because in any way, in any point, I could scream, I could say whatever I wanted to, and you know what would happen? Probably whatever I wanted to happen.
No, that's false. I'm gonna tell you this.
Would I want that? Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, wait. I'm sorry. I'm gonna speak on this too, right? So, there was this dude that was in here. I think his name was Jesus or whatever. He said he was from the Bay Area as well, right? So he was talking about going to different white towns around here, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I'm nobody, right? I'm nobody, but we do have, me and my family do have a lot of properties where we're from. It's not to brag about anything. It's just, I'm second generation. I'm first generation born here, whatever. But I'm gonna tell you this: the outskirts of my town, where I'm from like mainly the Bay Area, like they're white. They're like white towns in the outskirts that have like a third of fucking what do I say of goddamn of money of money wise as we have, you know what I mean, of a third of what these houses are worth out here. It's it's something that just, we're like Latinos in the U.S., like we're Latinos in California, Latinos in Texas, like we're structured. We're doing a lot, even though this country inherently should owe us a lot. Like we do have a lot of demand. We do have a lot of shit out here. So for us to I never in this, I like to bring this up because there's no. I understand that.
My God, what's the relevance?
The relevance is this. I understand the racism when it comes to what Janelle was talking about. I understand that shit to a full extent. Like Jesus, he was on here a little earlier. He was talking about, man, if you go to Danville, if you were to appreciate a house out there, that shit is like half of what the houses are out here. Like they don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if a person tends to look at you a certain way in a city that's less better than mine. You know what I mean? But not pushing that narrative. What I'm trying to tell you is that there is no oppression out here. There is nobody that could tell you, man, you could do what you have to do in this country. Yes, there's going to be racist people off top. I was doing a big job right now. I had to survey a big ass. I had to survey an airport today, right, for one of my businesses and shit. And there were people that look a certain way because I have different.
Bro, Mexican. He ain't black.
You. Thank the Lord.
So I'm Jesus. He was speaking.
Yo.
Can I say something real quick? I don't want to interrupt anybody. First of all, what I meant about Danville is when we go to places like Danville, Wanna Creek, that we are looked down upon, that we are looked like as the help. I dated a woman from Danville. I was helping her parents work on the house outside. Her neighbor called the cops on me and said I was stealing plants. And for your information, literally, they showed up deep. Her mom saw it on the camera and had to come home hella quick. And I was like, dude, I'm like loading up dirty dirt on my truck, so I'm being accused of stealing dirt. And I've been with this woman for 6 years, so like they see me here all the time. So yeah, like it's bad. Wanna Creek, but also what homeboy's saying about depression. Mexicanos, we have privileges in the U.S. We get bank loans. We're able to buy property out here. We don't get discriminated against the way the black community does. The Mexican people aren't going to talk about that. Like we don't have it as bad as the black community, and those are facts. Facts.
I know who gets stared at when I go into a restaurant with my Latina girlfriend. It ain't her, it's me. And she's hot.
May I say two things?
Please, grace us with your lovely voice.
I mean, no shade to anybody when I say this shit. I would hate to be a teacher or a professor for some of y'all because you have no fucking thought process. Some of y'all have clearly not written a goddamn essay. And I want to break this down really quickly. I'm not talking about a lot of people who are up here on the panel. I'm just saying.
We know. Go ahead, Jay.
When you are writing about a topic, this is how it goes. Typically within your first paragraph, you have your introduction and your thesis statement. Then all of the body paragraphs after that are you doing an in-depth analysis. Your final paragraph or your final few paragraphs are your conclusion. Okay? That is probably why you got kicked, Mr. Gentleman whose box that I took. You had no fucking point and you couldn't land it. Sorry.
Was it me, or did he sound like Porky the Pig? That's all, folks.
Don't insult Porky like that.
We got to be careful with that as well. Like, I understand what you mean, but some people have a hard time. Like, I speak Spanish and English, and we're used to speaking in a certain way.
I'm also bilingual.
Yeah, and you know how it is? And, like, I have a stuttering problem. I really do. I actually got someone, like, pew-pewed me on the side of my helmet when I was riding my motorcycle. So I have a bullet lodged into my gum and into like towards like the back of my tongue. But yeah, but I know what you mean by him. But yeah, sometimes it's just hablamos español y inglés and it goes back and forth, and sometimes we just start stuttering.
No, I get what you're saying.
You want to know something weird?
It wasn't the stutter, my dear. It wasn't that because
Fate Menace has been up here for like a hot minute and hasn't said shit.
Let me finish my point and then I'll go there. But I understand what you're saying, Jesus, because you have to take the time out to translate what you're saying from your mother tongue into, a point. But we got to be honest here. He had no fucking point, and it was all over the place.
Yeah, he was creating a point as he was going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I get that. It was a stuttering. It
doesn't happen to me, so there's no oppression.
It wasn't stuttering. What I noticed from watching him, and I came in a little bit halfway through the conversation, is that you cannot listen and comprehend what other people are saying when you are talking or you are itching to come off mute. He couldn't engage with the conversation, so he couldn't bring up a relevant point. He just wanted to get his shit off. That had nothing to do with the stutter. Now, my second point, I do not play oppression Olympics, okay? We don't do that. We don't compare how white supremacy has affected our races and all of that. I don't want to sit here and say what racial group has had it worse. But what I will say is, a lot of you motherfuckers that come up here with this model minority bullshit, and I'm saying that as somebody who belongs to the black community, y'all can kick rocks with open-toed shoes on.
Ow.
I don't want to, if I don't ask you for advice about how my community can better itself, please shut the fuck up. I understand that you may be a minority. I get it. I totally get it. But you're not going to tell me how to do my shit if you haven't walked in my shoes. Don't tell me how to lace up my fucking sneakers if you ain't walked a mile in these Adidas. Please don't. I appreciate it. I understand.
Your parents pay for them Adidas.
Just stick with you.
I understand that your intention may be to help us, but the shit comes off as misplaced and condescending, no matter how you cut that cake. Because your people made it, something must be wrong with my people. And that's where we get into oppression Olympics, because then I got to hold your ass to task. What have your people gone through? Because I'm sorry, I got to say it. I got to say it. And y'all know I do not like to do this. When it comes to the history of this country, and specifically the Americas, let's call it, the white colonizers tried that slavery shit on the indigenous people. And you know what happened? It didn't work because, for one, they knew this land, so they could run. And the ones who couldn't run were killed off by diseases. So you know what they did? Well, the Africans have been exposed to the diseases that we carry, and we have trade routes with them, so let's go and get them. And that is how the transatlantic slave trade started. So I'm sorry. I don't think that your experience is lesser than mine. I just think it's different. So we are going to have to take different approaches to fighting off white supremacy, but we can work together. And I'll land it there.
Amen.
If I may say something, and then I'm gonna. If I may say something really quick, and then I'm gonna hop off here. It takes a lot to get under Almighty NJ's skin. It takes a lot to get them flustered. So for y'all to get them to that flustered state, y'all might want to take a step back and do some reading or some research and take a long look in the mirror, as Michael Jackson would say. Start with the man in the mirror. That's what he said. That's right. Anywho, thank you for having me, All Might. You guys have a wonderful night. I do have to get up in 4 hours.
I gotta get up too. I'm gonna end this pretty soon.
Mate, thank you.
Let Fate Menace have his time, though.
Yeah.
He's been up here since I got up here.
Literally at the very end.
Night, Nathan. I've missed you.